listeners, and welcome to Boomerang. My name is Jim, and your other readers are...
Erin,
Nan,
Ray,
and Caroline.
John is an engineer tonight. Andrew's not being able to come. He'll be doing the recording, and Ray will be doing the copying and the distribution. The news this week is taken with permission, of course, from the West Lothian Courier, dated Thursday the 20th of June, and we are recording this on the 20th of June. Any little anecdotes have been taken from the Reader's Digest, again with their permission. Again, the recording has been divided into 4 sections, and we'll start the first section with some general news.
Golf star honoured with MBE. Proud moment for Bathgate Ryder Cup hero. Bathgate golfing star Stephen Gallagher joins 3 other deserving locals who received medals in the King's Birthday Honours. Stephen from Bathgate, who is the nephew of European Ryder Cup captain Bernard Gallagher, has been awarded an MBE for services to golf. He said he was delighted to receive the honour, adding, "I'm very proud to be awarded an MBE in the King's Birthday Honours list. Golf has given me so many amazing experiences, and I am grateful to everyone who has been there to help and support throughout. To Helen, Jack and Daly, I would never have received this without you." Also receiving an MBE is Bathgate bairn Elizabeth Fitzpatrick for her services to education. Elizabeth has been the CEO of Playback Learning and founding chair of Playback Trust for the last 26 years. Elizabeth, a former pupil of St Mary's Primary and St Mary's Secondary School, now lives in Edinburgh. She said she is thrilled to win the award, adding, "I'm delighted to accept the award as this shines a light on the great work that Playback does in supporting all children and young people across our learning communities." Also receiving honours are Dr John Black, Irving from Linlithgow, and June Valens from Uphall Station, who were awarded Order of the British Empire, BEM medals. Dr Irving is treasurer of Mill Cottage Hut at Cairngorms National Park, treasurer of the Glen Brittle Memorial Hut on Skye, and a member of, and lately chair, of Forth Valley Mountaineering Club. He has received his award for services to outdoor activities and health in Scotland. June Valens received her honour for services to the third sector and to the community in North Lanarkshire. Provost Cathy Muldoon said all the recipients should be rightly proud of their achievements. She said congratulations to all 3 recipients on their awards in His Majesty the King's Birthday Honours list. The King's Birthday Honours list illustrates the outstanding contributions of the people of West Lothian.
tributes paid to Dad and track legend Alistair. Tributes have poured in for a West Lothian dad and running legend after his sad death at 38. Alistair Hay, who competed for Scotland at the 2010 Commonwealth Games in New Delhi, leaves behind a wife and 2 children. Alistair, from Linlithgow, was described as a kind-spirited man and an outstanding performer. Scottish Athletics confirmed the death of the legend runner with deep sadness. Mr Hay finished 12th in the 1500 metres at the Games in India and was a long-term member of Central Athletic Club in Stirling and Clackmannanshire. Mark Pollard, head of performance at Scottish Athletics, said, "Ali was a gentle giant in our sport, whose quality and consistency was extraordinary over the years. He was a multiple Scottish champion over the years and Commonwealth Games representative at Delhi in 2010. Ali will be missed greatly by the athletics community in Scotland and of course by the Central AC family. For me, he was a real catalyst for the resurgence in male 1500 in Scotland. Ali showed the way for the likes of young Chris O'Hare to aspire to, which led to a chain of success down the years that continues to this day. His record at the National XC in particular was superb. He won the senior men's gold on 2 occasions and a bronze medal in 2 further years. But I'm pretty sure he took just as much enjoyment from being a mainstay at the Central AC team, who won the senior men's team gold year after year after year. Ali was a massive influence on his club mates and many others. A statement from the organisation read, "With deep sadness, we advise of the passing of Central AC legend Ali Hay. We send our condolences to family and friends." Central AC added to the tribute, saying, "It is with deep sadness that we would like to inform members and friends of the passing of Alistair Hay. Ali was an outstanding performer for Central for over 20 years. Moreover, he was an even better friend to all within the club, incredibly kind-spirited and a great supporter of the club and all its athletes. Our thoughts and deepest sympathies are with his wife, Lindsay, his young sons and all his family. A memorial service and funeral service will be held at West Lothian Crematorium on Thursday, June the 27th at 11 a.m.
Alfie raises smiles in Parliament. A West Lothian schoolboy proved he's a funny guy by reaching the finals of a joke-telling competition. Alfie Spears represented West Lothian at the Royal College of Speech and Language Therapists joke-telling competition hosted at the Scottish Parliament. Alfie, a P7 pupil at Murrayfield Primary School in Whitburn, was among 28 primary school children from across Scotland who had MSPs in fits of laughter as they highlighted the importance of speech and language therapy at the inaugural VoiceBox joke-telling competition at Holyrood. The Royal College of Speech and Language Therapists, RCSLT, VoiceBox competition is designed to highlight the critical role communication plays in a child's development and the impact speech and language therapy has on their future. VoiceBox aims to shine a light on the power of communication, early language and communication development, and the importance of early intervention. Alfie received a medal and a goodie bag for reaching the final, as well as £100 worth of books from HarperCollins, which were gifted to all 28 finalists. Glenn Carter, head of RCSLT Scotland, said, "VoiceBox goes beyond entertainment. It highlights the vital role of speech and language therapy in empowering children to express themselves. It was brilliant to see all the kids here, and the RCSLT is thrilled to have brought VoiceBox to the Scottish Parliament, where it received such enthusiastic support. The joy and laughter shared today highlight the power of communication and the importance of nurturing it in our young people." Presiding officer, the Right Honourable Alison Johnston MSP, added, "It was a pleasure to host the final of the VoiceBox competition at the Scottish Parliament. The children put so much effort and thought into their jokes, which were a testament to their creativity and confidence. Events like these showcase the importance of helping children find their own voice and share their unique perspectives with the world." Lizzie Jones, head of sales and marketing for Scotland from HarperCollins Publishers, said, "We're delighted to support the development of children's communication skills through VoiceBox and the message that it's spreading. We believe that this will help improve children's literacy and comprehension abilities through the enjoyment of telling a joke."
We're living in concrete nightmare. A West Lothian couple have been left devastated as they claim the discovery of reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete, RAC, in their home has meant they cannot sell their property. The crumbling concrete has sparked a crisis for governments, councils and homeowners across the country, with safety concerns surrounding the material used to build flat-roofed structures from the 1960s to the 1990s. Brenda McMeechan, 54, and her partner Neil, 60, who have stayed on Avon Drive, Linlithgow for 28 years, received a letter from the local authority telling them that RAC had been discovered in neighbouring properties similar to their own. The couple had planned to sell their property in February. They claim that an estate agent said that a surveyor would not attend their home due to the RAC letter that was sent to tenants and owners on the street. This has meant that the pair have been trapped in their home, unable to sell up and move into the next stage in their lives. They bought their home as part of the Right to Buy scheme that was introduced by the UK government in the 1980s. She said, "I was devastated as I was hoping to sell my property and had planned to market it in February earlier this year. The letter I received was very brief and recommended I consult with a structural engineer and contact my insurance for advice. A better informed letter would have helped me to understand what I was facing. I asked for clarification from them regarding their responsibilities in addressing the matter. I got the same response that I am seeing so many times now, in that as my property is privately owned, the responsibility lies with me." Brenda continued, "My fears extend to the issues the removal could come across, such as rewiring my property, given the lighting required in the ceilings. The costs and everything else included could surpass £50,000, causing anxiety, stress and worry. I planned to market my property in February and had engaged with an estate agent to start the process for me. 5 days before they were due to attend my property, I received a call to say the surveyor would not carry out the survey on my property due to the letter I had received from the council. I was devastated, as without the survey I could not market my home. I am now tied to my home and cannot move on to the next phase of my life, which is causing undue stress." A council spokesperson said, "West Lothian Council has never sold homes after being made aware of the safety issues concerning reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete, RAC, planks. The council is following guidance that was issued by the Institute of Structural Engineers in April 2023 regarding survey programmes and the presence of RAC. This is the guidance adopted by the Scottish Government, other local authorities and registered social landlords. It is following this advice issued only last year that we have taken all appropriate steps. We cannot provide private owners with specific information relating to their own homes. Owner-occupiers who have purchased their home, whether a former council house or not, have sole responsibility of their properties, and this has been confirmed by the Scottish Government. Properties with RAC are not currently designated as inherently defective, and the responsibility for assessing its construction, materials and potential RAC presence lies with the owners." And there's a picture of a very unhappy Brenda.
Finlay and Sarah can talk a very good game. Broxburn pupils win leading debating tournament. 2 pupils from Broxburn Academy have been crowned the winners of 2024's Donald Dewar Memorial Debate Tournament. The judging panel chose Sarah Pym and Finlay Sayers as victors over 3 rival teams from Nairn Academy, Balfron High School and Bearsden Academy in the tournament's final at the National Galleries of Scotland in Edinburgh on the evening of Wednesday, 12th of June. The 4 teams debated the motion, "This House believes that time travel should be banned even if it is technologically feasible. Broxburn went up against Nairn Academy in the evening's first debate, followed by Balfron High School against Bearsden. The judging panel selected Harry Braid and Jasper Burnside from Balfron High School as the runners-up, while praising all participants on the night. Law Society of Scotland President Susan Murray and the Society's Executive Director of Education, Training and Qualifications, Liz Campbell, were among those in attendance at the final, and congratulated the winners and all 64 teams who took part across all stages of the tournament. Ms Campbell said, "Congratulations to Sarah Pym and Finlay Sayers for your victory in what was such a tight contest. I really enjoyed seeing the strong and intelligent arguments put forward by all 4 teams, and you should all be so proud of having made the final. I'd like to extend my thanks to our chair, Daniel Howie, and our fantastic judges, David Dixon, Rhys Bradley, Paul Cruikshank, Erin Grieve and Nathan Adam, as well as all the schools, teachers, parents, and the 128 pupils who have given so much time and energy to the tournament. It's been inspiring to see the talent on display, and we look forward to seeing some of these young people build on their skills and join the solicitor profession in the future. The Donald Dewar Memorial Debate Tournament has now been challenging and inspiring young people for 25 years. As the Law Society itself celebrates its 75th anniversary in 2024, we're proud of our work with school pupils and university students. The winners, Broxburn Academy, received £1,000 and a trophy plate from the Law Society of Scotland, while second place, Balfron High School, received £250 thanks to the Glasgow Bar Association. And there's a lovely picture of Law Society of Scotland President Susan Murray with Finlay Sayers and Sarah Pym from Broxburn Academy, and President of the Glasgow Bar Association, Tracy Mulholland.
Boost for Bathgate Water. A groundbreaking multi-partner environmental project is set to regenerate the Bathgate water and its surrounding green spaces. The project will enhance the habitat, biodiversity and improve net zero and sustainability opportunities. There will also be improved walking and cycling opportunities around the area for the local community. The overall vision for this restoration project is to work with local people to create a large, high-quality, accessible and wildlife-rich nature park on former industrial land. The project will regenerate the rivers that run through the town, promote the benefits of active travel by creating new direct connections between Blackburn, Westeringe and the historic town centre, and aims to inject new life into the town centre. Early site work will commence on the project from Monday, June 24th, with topographical surveys and ground investigation works to take place.
Council workers reject pay offer. Council and school workers in West Lothian belonging to Unison have voted overwhelmingly to reject a pay offer from local government employers, says the union this week. Thousands of staff employed by local authorities indicated they were unhappy with the pay proposal put forward by COSLA, with 91% of those balloted choosing to reject, Unison says. The workers were made a 2-stage offer, which would operate over an 18-month period. It gives a 2.2% increase for the first 6 months,
and an additional 2% for the remaining 12 months of the deal, ending in September next year. Unison will now begin the process of formally balloting groups of workers about selective strike action over the coming weeks. Unison Scotland Local Government Committee Chair Colette Hunter said, "This result must be a wake-up call for Costler that council workers need to be rewarded fairly for the essential services they provide. Staff have experienced years of cuts to their pay levels, and a reversal has to begin. The last thing anyone wants to do is go on strike, but local government workers deserve a fair increase to stop their pay lagging further behind inflation and the wage increases being given in other sectors of the economy. Workers have seen the value of their pay fall over the past 10 years, often while being asked to do even more. They provide vital services to their communities by caring for the most vulnerable, educating children, waste and recycling, and keeping people safe."
World-famous bakers to open first Scottish store in Livingston. Cinnabon, the makers of the world's most famous icing-covered cinnamon rolls, which started out in Seattle in 1985 and are now available in over 48 countries, is set to open its first site in Scotland in the centre Livingston this summer. The American bakery specialises in freshly baked large and mini buns, which come in a variety of flavours, including the original roll, which is the classic Cinnabon, with macara cinnamon and signature frosting, choco bon and caramel pecan bon. Visitors to the centre Livingston, which is one of the largest in Scotland with over 150 shops and eateries, will also be able to enjoy various drinks to accompany their Cinnabon sweet treats, including espresso and Chilata's milkshakes at the new kiosk, which will be located in the heart of the shopping centre. Patrick Roberts, Centre Director at the Centre, Livingston, is excited by the news and this week told the Courier, "We are really looking forward to the arrival of Cinnabon, which is guaranteed to be a big hit with fans and those yet to try them out, and we are delighted to be the first site in Scotland to welcome them. This is a very exciting time for us at the Centre Livingston, with the recent opening of Rituals and Cinnabon coming soon, which are both great additions to our existing portfolio of fantastic places to shop and dine out. We are planning to announce the arrival of even more fantastic new brands to the Centre Livingston, which will really enhance the overall experience for our visitors."
And as we are now very, very hungry, after hearing that, that's the end of part 1. Back with part 2 just shortly. Welcome back to part 2, and we'll start with the family intimations. And there are only 3, and they're all deaths. Dennis Harrell, peacefully at home after a short illness, bravely born on the 7th of June 2024, aged 76, beloved husband of Patricia Ann, dad to Zoe and Jamie, and granddad to Aaron. Jones, Elizabeth Murray, normally called Liz. Peacefully at Edinburgh Royal Infirmary on Wednesday the 5th of June 2024, Elizabeth, aged 75 years, beloved wife to the late Barry, cherished mum to Mike and Michelle, treasured gran to Maisie, and a loving sister to Janice and the remaining siblings, Alma, George, Joyce and Karen, will be deeply missed by all who knew her. Mutter Robert, known as Bob, at St John's Hospital, Livingston, with his family at his side on Sunday the 9th of June 2024. Bob, devoted husband to the late Margaret, loving father to Graham and Gillian, much loved granddad and great-granddad, forever in our thoughts. And that's the intimations. We'll carry on with some more news items.
Buyback policy change could see council homes put up for sale on the open market. A number of council homes in West Lothian could be sold after the council agreed changes to its buyback policy. Councillors on the Housing Services Committee agreed proposals which could see homes which are the sole council property remaining in a block being sold on the open market. Money made from selling council homes would go into a pot to fund the buying of other homes. The SNP said it was an idea that could have been implemented a long time ago, but would now see houses being sold weeks after the council had admitted to a housing crisis. A report to the committee said, in situations where the council is in minority ownership, or where reaching an agreement with private owners regarding necessary repairs proves impossible and the property becomes void, the service would propose to designate the property as surplus to requirement and offer the property for sale on the open market once it naturally becomes vacant. The report added, the right to buy scheme has resulted in some tenements where the council owns only a small portion of the properties. This scenario can create difficulties when addressing essential repairs to common areas due to the involvement of private owners. The report detailed criteria both for the sale of council homes and the buyback. Chairing the executive meeting, Councillor Lawrence Fitzpatrick said it was always difficulties in tenements divided between council tenancies and private owners. It's a much higher management cost, there's much greater complexity in maintenance and much higher costs. It makes sense to divest ourselves of such property and use this money for acquisitions elsewhere. A report to the Housing Service PDSP said, in 1997, the council agreed a policy of buying back former council houses. When the policy was first introduced, the purchase price was the original selling price and included reasonable legal costs of the transaction.
Please be careful to keep your dog inside. They're not all friendly. A West Lothian courier driver, mauled by dogs twice in 1 week, has issued a plea to owners during the summer months. Keith Carleon was making deliveries on Monday, June 10th and Wednesday, June 12th, when he claims he was attacked by dogs while attempting to drop off parcels. The frustrated 56-year-old said he was bitten on the stomach after he walked up a garden path of one property on Monday. He was then allegedly bitten again on Wednesday, leaving him scared to approach homes with dogs. Keith said his injuries could have been a lot worse, but hopes to spread awareness of how common the danger is for delivery drivers. He said, on Monday, a dog ran out of a door of a house and was trying to get at me, but fortunately I had a parcel in my hand. The dog then mauled the parcel and also got a nip at me. It honestly could have been a lot worse if I didn't have a parcel between me and the dog, but I really did get a fright. On Wednesday, I heard 2 dogs barking behind the door, and because of what happened to me on Monday, I ran up the garden path and they chased me. The owner then started throwing nasty words at me. It was just pure arrogance, really. They kept saying it was my fault. It's happening on a daily basis to couriers and delivery drivers, and I think a lot of people think it's funny, but it's really not. I haven't been attacked in a very long time, but the fact it's happened to me twice this week is crazy. Keith used to have a dog himself, and his main grudge is with the owners who assume their dog will be friendly to everyone. He added, the bite is still sore now, and it's tingling. Because the summer months are coming in now, I am wearing shorts, so there is nothing to protect my legs. I also spoke to a postman the other day who said he had 10 attacks in 1 year. When you hear a dog bark, you're worried about what reaction you're going to get and whether the dog is going to come running out of the door. I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's not the dogs. It comes down to owners' arrogance that they think that's okay. I like dogs. I had a dog myself for years before he sadly passed, and I would never have let him run out the door. If somebody is at the door, owners can't just assume that their dogs are going to be friendly, because dogs can change in an instant. Not everyone likes dogs, and if this keeps happening, couriers will just stop delivering to these premises. I know that the 2 homes I delivered to in the last few days I will not be going back to. I just want to spread awareness for what people keep their dogs under control.
Vandals put future of our shops at risk. Fears over teen louts terrorising town centre. Teenage vandals could force more stores in the centre of a West Lothian town out of business, it was warned this week. It comes after Kids Co., a popular social enterprise selling baby clothes, was forced to close its doors in Bathgate over safety fears for its staff. Vandals also made a community space on the 2nd floor of the building unusable by breaking a hole in the roof space, causing water damage. Councillor Harry Cartmill told a meeting of Bathgate Local Area Committee, "It's a dreadful thing to happen in Bathgate, for a shop to have to shut because of the behaviour of a minority within the town. I fear that shop will never open again, and it's not opening because of the behaviours of certain people in this town." Councillor Cartmill asked PC Ross Walker, "Do you see it as a societal breakdown, a lack of police numbers, a combination of those two, or another factor?" PC Walker said, "I was a community officer in Bathgate 4 or 5 years ago, and it was a bit of an issue then. It's a bit off and on." He said that community officers were working on reports around the incidents and trying to identify culprits. Crime prevention and safety measures are also being compiled. Councillor Cartmill asked, "Are you engaging with the staff there? Is there a hope the shop will reopen? People are disgusted with this." PC Walker said, "Once recommendations are in place, it's up to the premises to implement. Hopefully the staff will feel comfortable to come back. We will continue to work with partners and engage with young people." Kids co-founder Tracy Murdoch welcomed the support of the councillors. She told the local Democracy Reporting Service, "We value the committee's commitment to addressing the challenges faced by Kids Co and other affected shops. While we eagerly anticipate the reopening of Kids Co Bathgate, we recognise the importance of robust security measures. Ensuring the safety of our staff, customers and the community remains our top priority. The situation and antisocial behaviour continue to be at the heart of our discussions, not only for Kids Co, but for the entire Bathgate community. We appreciate the collaborative efforts to strike a balance between safety precautions and supporting local businesses. The dedication from the local area committee partners to finding solutions is commendable, and we sincerely appreciate their tireless efforts." Councillor Willie Boyle told the meeting that he feared Poundland would vacate its George Street premises after facing similar problems of teens damaging the flat roof of the building. The store, once home to Woolworths, is one of the largest in the pedestrianised centre. Councillor Boyle said, "I'm really disappointed at what's happening here, and I'm not reassured by what I'm hearing. There's a serious issue from what I'm seeing and from what I'm being told. Kids Co is the culmination of this." Poundland has had the same problem. If they could find suitable premises elsewhere, they would move. They would vacate that building. The problem is that's a flat roof. There's been so much damage done to that flat roof, it's now a liability. And rather than try and deal with that, they're looking to try and remove themselves from that liability. That's serious, because we could end up with that building sitting derelict within the town centre. Councillor Boyle highlighted vandalism at industrial units in the town, which suggested that some teens were getting away with random destruction, saying, "This is bad news for George Street. Some sort of concerted effort needs to be done. The police need to be a key driver in this." PC Walker said, since the Kidsco damage was done, a crime prevention survey was in the process of being carried out. He added, "Looking at Poundland, I don't recall seeing any reports from there. This issue seems to be around Kidsco." He added, "We've identified a number of young people responsible for antisocial behaviour, ASB, in the Partnership Centre and the wider community, and young people have been reported for vandalism. I think the wider ASB issues have settled a wee bit." Last summer, shopkeepers petitioned the council after a group of street drinkers began disrupting trade in and around George Street and the Steelyard.
Friends raising cash to support Veronica's family. Donations can ease the burden on them. A fundraiser has been set up in memory of a West Lothian mum who tragically lost her life following a disturbance in Broxburn. Chitsizeo Veronica Chinyanga from Zimbabwe was taken to the Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh on Sunday, June 9th at around 7:55 p.m, where she sadly later died. Officers were made aware of an incident at a property on Cunningar Road. Cassie Kai Chinyanga from Roxburn was arrested and charged in connection with her death. He appeared at Livingston Sheriff Court on Tuesday, charged with murder. Her loving friends and family have now organised a fundraiser in her memory, with over £2,000 having already been raised. The family are hoping to raise £5,000 in order to help Veronica's family in Zimbabwe to say their final goodbye. Since the fundraiser was launched, many donations have been made in memory of Veronica, who was described as a beacon of joy and positivity by those who loved her. And there's a beautiful picture of her.
Stargazers car park could close at night. Council officers are set to recommend nighttime closure of a popular Stargazers car park in West Lothian. The car park in the Basket Hills was recently packed with cars as people drove up to view the Aurora Borealis, with cars lining the narrow road up to the site. Questioning the closure, local councillor Willie Boyle said, "We're told we can expect more and more of these events. I don't think we should be rushing to close a popular site." Council officers have carried out a consultation with local groups following their announcement late last year that closing the Hilltop car park, also known as Gordon's View, was the only practical solution for the council. It faces big bills for clean-ups at the remote site, despite there being bottle banks and a compacting bin on site. In a report to the latest meeting of Bathgate's local area committee, David Lees, a cleaner committee's manager, said, "Following completion of the public survey, officers have analysed the findings and responses from the survey along with other data and evidence from past and recent incidents of anti-social behaviour and vandalism in the car park. And officers recommend a decision to close this car park in the evenings and overnight in an effort to deter any further incidents of anti-social behaviour and vandalism." A report setting out the findings and evidence supporting the officer's recommendation to close the car park in the evenings and overnight will be presented to the next meeting of the local area committee. Speaking after the meeting, Councillor Boyle questioned the validity of the consultation and whether the council had the right to close the car park on what amounted to anecdotal evidence. In January, a senior operational services manager told the committee that cleaning crews were having to attend the car park 3 or 4 times a week. The site is regularly used for fly tipping, and the compactor bin, which costs around £4,000, has been set on fire. The car park affords uninterrupted views across the southwest of the county. Its position high above the town and on an unlit road also opens up the night sky to stargazers. It was first opened after a campaign by the town's community council, on which Councillor Boyle served at the time. It is named Gordon's View after a fellow member of the community council.
Incredible Pair have fostered 200 dogs. A team at Dogs Trust West Calder is celebrating the work of 2 incredibly dedicated and compassionate volunteers who have fostered over 200 dogs. Roy and Laura Johnston from Livingston became foster carers for Dogs Trust West Calder in 2016 and have since welcomed into their home over 200 dogs of every size, age and breed. Their remarkable journey began with a single foster dog, a Shih Tzu called Poppy, which sparked their passion and dedication in caring for dogs in need. Dogs Trust foster carers play a major role in helping dogs in the charity's care prepare for a happy future by caring for them on a temporary basis within their home until they find a forever home. Time and time again, Roy and Laura's home has been where the dogs have experienced love and stability for the first time, which is a wonderful testament to the couple's nurturing spirit. From playful puppies to nervous dogs with no experience of life in a home, Roy and Laura's expertise and patience has helped the dogs flourish, enabling them to find their forever homes. Since the Johnstons have been volunteering for Dogs Trust, the committed dog lovers have also adopted 5 dogs from the charity, with their current furry family consisting of 2 Shih Tzus, a Dachshund and a French Bulldog. Speaking about being foster carers for Dogs Trust, the couple said, "It is so rewarding and great to watch every dog's confidence grow day by day. To anyone considering becoming a foster carer, we would say, go for it." Kim McNeil, Assistant Manager, Administration at Dogs Trust West Calder, said, "For some of our dogs, kennel life is not best suited to their needs, and this is when we turn to our incredible foster carers for help. The dedication of our volunteer foster carers is exemplified by the extraordinary efforts of our longest-term foster carers, Roy and Laura Johnston. We are thrilled that their journey with us has reached the amazing milestone of caring for 200 dogs. Their commitment extends beyond providing temporary shelter. They go the extra mile to ensure that every dog is well prepared for their permanent new home when the time comes. This includes providing socialisation, basic training and unconditional love. Their efforts not only transform the lives of the dogs they foster, but also enrich the lives of the families who adopt them. We are incredibly fortunate to have Roy and Laura as part of our fostering family and cannot thank them enough for the support over 8 years. Their tireless efforts embody the spirit of our mission, and we hope their story serves as an inspiration to others who may be considering opening their home and heart to a foster dog. Dogs Trust goes the extra mile for every dog to make sure they get the happy ending they deserve. Help Dogs Trust be there for every dog for as long as they need care by visiting www.dogstrust.org.uk/support us to see how you can support the charity.
We're set to get proud and loud. It's Pride Month, and West Lothian is gearing up for its own celebrations. Locals are looking forward to getting proud and loud and celebrating diversity together. A day of celebration is planned for Saturday, July the 27th at Howden Park Centre from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. West Lothian Pride was founded in 2015 by a group of the Glitter Cannons and local LGBTQI+ individuals who recognised the need for a Pride event in their community. Their first event was held in July 2015 at Howden Park Centre in Livingston. It was a huge success and sparked the start of an annual tradition. In 2016, the event moved to a larger venue, the West Lothian College, and saw even more attendees and support from local businesses and organisations. Each year, the event continues to grow and evolve, with a diverse range of performers, speakers and activities. Once again this year, there will be a parade and march through the town centre, live music and entertainment, information stalls from local LGBTQI+ organisations, plus food and drink vendors. For more information, visit www.westlothianpride.org.uk.
Around the Gala Days. Armadale. It was a day to remember yet again in Armadale as locals enjoyed their annual Gala Day. The costumes, floats and parade were better than ever, and hundreds lined the streets to cheer the procession before Kennedy Gallagher was crowned Queen of Hearts along with her champion Jamie Monaghan. It was another packed weekend in West Lothian's Gala season. Return of Uphall Gala. It was truly a day of celebration when Uphall Gala Day make a triumphant return after a 5-year hiatus. Everyone in the town was delighted to see the traditional parade wind its way through the streets once again. This year's Queen was Tilly Flynn, who was crowned by the Gala's VIP Was Abbas, a local shopkeeper who has supported the community for years throughout COVID and the cost of living crisis. Cheers for Gala Day. Stonyburn and Bent's Gala Day was a day to remember for everyone. The parade was packed with youngsters who were all dressed up for their big day, joining local schools, nurseries, businesses and groups who waved to everyone as they went past. And of course the highlight of the day was the crowning of Queen Cerys Sayce and King Lewis Wilson. A lovely day at Logan Lee. Logan Lee locals enjoyed a fantastic day out at the Gala Day last weekend. There was something for everyone to enjoy, including the popular parade and crowning pageant. The parade was full of colourful floats and some great costumes. Queen Amy Hamilton and champion Josh Cunningham got to enjoy their moment in the spotlight. Then it was back to the Gala Day part for some great entertainment. Gala fun at Kirknewton Gala Day was another hit this year as locals lined the street to watch the parade wind its way around the village. There were plenty of bands taking part to get toes tapping and lots of brightly decorated floats. Locals watched as Gala Queen Anaya Gordon was crowned. Also taking part were Flower Girls Nave Guthrie and Reva McCarthy and Page Boys Sydney Clark and Ossian Alexander. Historic day for Deans. It was a historic day this year for everyone who enjoyed Dean's Gala Day. Gala Queen Lacey Melvin was crowned by Anne Dryborough, who has been a community stalwart with Livingston United for many years. And for the first time, the Queen was supported by a king, Mason Drysdale. But it was business as usual for the rest of the day, with hundreds turning out to watch the parade and enjoy the entertainment at the park. Historic event marches on. Flutes and drummers kicked off the annual Linlithgow marches at 5 a.m. with a parade through the borough, Linlithgow Bridge and Blackness, waking the inhabitants. At 6 a.m, pipes and drums followed the same route as the flutes to provide a second wake-up call, and then the Linlithgow Reed Band provided a moment of reflection before making their way to the home of the Provost. At 8 a.m, the Provost party took breakfast before they joined the Round Table, Rotary, 41 Club and Dyers on a march to the palace to fraternise. The procession moved off and the Civic Party then laid wreaths at the War Memorial in Blackness before the fencing of the court at Castle Hill, Blackness, and the installation of Baron Bailey. The Provost party then had lunch in the Marquee at Blackness before the grand finale at 5 p.m, when the procession went 3 times round the Crosswell.
And that's the end of part 2. We'll back with part 3 very shortly. Welcome back to part 3, and part 3 is our usual quiz, the layout of which is now 10 pub quiz questions, so get your pens ready. Here we go. 1. What natural phenomena does a volcanologist study? Is it tornadoes, earthquakes, or volcanoes? Number 2. Of which US state in Honolulu, the capital? Is it Hawaii, New Mexico, or Alaska? Question 3. What comic actor starred in the films I'm All Right, Jack and Dr. Strangelove? Is it Rowan Atkinson, Peter Sellers, or Alec Guinness? Number 4. The monument in London was designed by Sir Christopher Wren to commemorate which event of 1666? Was it the Great Fire of London, the Blitz, or the Plague? Number 5. Which purified wax obtained from sheep's wool is used as a base for skin creams and soaps? Is it lanolin, beeswax, or petroleum jelly? Number 6. By what name was Russian revolutionary Lev Bronstein known? Was it Joseph Stalin, Leon Trotsky, or Vladimir Lenin? Number 7. Which type of Spanish music and dance was developed by Andalusian gypsies? Was it the tango, the salsa, or flamenco? And would one of the girls like to demonstrate this for her? Number 8. In which English county is the village of Tall Puddle famous for its trade union martyrs? Dorset, Gloucestershire, or Somerset? Number 9. Which natural phenomena does a seismologist study? Earthquakes, volcanoes, or hurricanes? And number 10. Which event, planned by Prince Albert, took place in the Crystal Palace of 1851? Was it the coronation, the Olympic Games, or the Great Exhibition? We'll be back with part 4 with the answers. Welcome back to part 4, and these are the answers to the quiz. Number 1, it was volcanoes. Number 2, Hawaii. Number 3, the comic actor was Peter Sellers. Number 4, the monument in London celebrated the Great Fire of London. And the purified wax is lanolin. Russian revolutionary Lev Bronstein was known as Leon Trotsky. Number 7, the type of Spanish music and dance was flamenco. Number 8, in which English county is the village of Tolpuddle? It's in Dorset. The natural phenomena is earthquakes. Number 10, the event planned by Prince Albert was the Great Exhibition. And if any of you were there, you're awfully old. We'll finish part 4 with
a serving of advice on food and climate. Gather and Grow event will share good ideas. The relationship between food and climate change is on the table at the first major event hosted by West Lothian's new Climate Hub this month. Gather and Grow will bring together local food producers and growers, social enterprises, biodiversity experts and other specialists to share ideas about tackling the climate emergency from the ground up. The day-long event on June the 24th is hosted by West Lothian Climate Action Network Hub and is aimed at community action groups and organisations working to tackle the emergency. The Hub's network members, comprising grassroots groups, will discuss how organisations such as community gardens are stepping up efforts to reduce food miles for local residents, in tandem with projects to improve well-being, fight poverty, increase skills and aid empowerment. Members of West Lothian's business community and political representatives, not campaigning in the general election, will also participate in the event, with West Lothian College providing the venue. Key speakers will offer climate-related perspectives from work in community gardening, food networks, land use, training and enterprise. Workshops will explore how food access and affordability, health and well-being interconnect with our climate and are being addressed in West Lothian. It is the first themed event for West Lothian Climate Action Network Hub, which was recently funded for another year by the Scottish Government along with others across the country. The Hub's network has grown since its launch in January to 61 member groups, and the team are developing a programme of events and climate literacy training, which they have begun delivering to schools and other organisations. Neil Barnes, Senior Development Worker for the Hub, said, "We're very excited to launch our first major thematic climate and earth event. Going round the region, it's clear that growing food is one of the key areas of climate action at grassroots level. Whether you're just a passionate gardener and love growing your own food, or want to reduce your food miles or share your knowledge. Please do sign up, as we hope there's something for everyone, particularly those who can represent their local group or a relevant organisation and take back what they've learned or connections they've made. Details and booking can be found on Eventbrite. Search for West Lothian Gather and Grow. Alternatively, on Facebook, search for Climate Action West Lothian, where the event flyer can be found. This carries a QR code to scan with a phone, which will direct you to the event page.
BT pledges support for customers across Scotland ahead of the switch to its new digital home phone service. BT customers will be able to speak to advisors and ask questions about the change, which will see calls made over a broadband line instead of the old analogue network, which is becoming increasingly unreliable. Vicky Hicks, Senior Engagement Manager at BT, said, "This is necessary upgrade to future-proof Scotland's landlines is essential, and for the vast majority of customers, making the switch simply involves plugging your phone into a broadband router instead of into a wall-mounted phone socket, bringing new benefits such as advanced spam call blocking. We've already prevented more than 200,000 scam calls from reaching our customers. Getting it right for customers. We've worked very closely with our Digital Voice Advisory Group, an association made up of charities and representative groups who have been advising on the needs of customers most affected by the switch, and as a result, we are taking a number of steps to give customers in Scotland the best possible experience. In total, we've now got around 2.5 million customers across the UK using our new home phone service, and we are now offering support for customers across Scotland who are ready to make the switch. Peter Turner, a customer already set up with Digital Voice landlines, said, "The Digital Voice equipment was pre-delivered. I set everything up prior to it going live, and everything is working as it should. I found the setup very straightforward, and Digital Voice is clearer and more reliable." Where can I find out more about Digital Voice? Vicky Hicks added, "We'll be running events across Scotland throughout July and August to tell customers more about Digital Voice and to answer any questions they may have about the move to digital landlines. For almost all of our customers, Digital Voice will have no impact on how you use your home phone. All our customers will still have the same service, and your price plan and bills will stay the same regardless of the switch."
Shock as ex-Livy keeper Sarkic dies at the age of 26. Former Livingston goalkeeper Mattia Sarkic has tragically passed away at the age of just 26 after suddenly falling ill. The Grimsby-born goalie, who represented Montenegro internationally and had stints with a host of British clubs, including Aston Villa, Wolves, Birmingham City and Stoke City, was the shot stopper at English League One side Millwall last season, and tributes have poured in following his shock death. He reportedly fell ill at an apartment in Budva while on international duty last week. His friends immediately sought medical help, but he sadly passed away around 6:30 a.m. local time. Sarkic was in action against Belgium just last week, where he was hailed as the man of the match, following a remarkable performance that included 9 saves, despite Montenegro's 2-0 loss. The goalkeeper had earlier honed his skills at Anderlecht's academy before moving to Villa, where he spent 5 years and was loaned out to Wigan Athletic, Stratford Town, Havant and Waterlooville, and Livingston in the Scottish Premiership. He made 18 appearances for the Lions in the 2019-20 season, while on loan from Aston Villa. A statement from Livingston read, "Livingston Football Club is devastated to hear the heartbreaking news that Millwall and Montenegro goalkeeper Mattia Sarkic has tragically passed away. Thoughts are with the family at this time. Rest in peace, Mattia." The Millwall Supporters Club shared their grief on X, posting, "What horrendous news to wake up to this morning that our goalkeeper, Mattia Sarkic, has died at the young age of 26. Devastating news for his friends and family and for all of us associated with Millwall. Once a Lion, always a Lion."
Thank you, Ray. And that actually brings us to the end of part 4. But in our recording sessions, we started to include, where possible, a poem or a composition written and read by one of our team again Ray. So, before we wind up our recording session, perhaps Ray would again read out one of his compositions. Over to you, Ray.
This is called A Sylvan Adventure. As I stroll through the leafy shade, where elfin figures once have stayed, I think I feel them near me, yet I'm not worried, they're no threat. The dead leaves swirl without a breeze, I know that they're among the trees. In playful mood they run around unseen, they never make a sound. Then down upon the forest floor I spy their tracks, but then no more. As if by magic all is cleared, there is no sign they've disappeared. I journey on with heart that's sad, but thankful for the time I had. And I'm also going to read one inventively called The Poem. I sit, waiting for my love. The sun sinks, bathing the world in golden hues. The mist passes spectre-like over the ground, but I sit, waiting for my love. I sit, waiting for my love, while on the road the cars scurry by like ants on the way to a picnic. A plane drones overhead in its usual endless flight, but I sit, waiting for my love. I sit, waiting for my love, and children scream and shout and play, mercifully far enough away to not encroach upon my space, empty now, because I sit, waiting for my love. I sit, waiting for my love, whose light is brighter than 10,000 suns, whose being fills my world and makes me whole once more. I sit, waiting for my love. I sit, waiting for my love, a shell replete with nothingness, a sentient being but somehow void of normal life. But hark, a call. She comes again, my heart is leaping joyously. I wait no more.
Thank you very much, Ray. We have now come to the end of this week's recording. It's slightly shorter than usual, but that's because the courier's slightly thinner than usual. We hope you have enjoyed it, though. And when you have finished listening to this recording, can I remind you to place the USB stick in the wallet, reverse the label so that the cutout corner is at the top right-hand side, and post it back to us as soon as possible. What I would also like you to do is, wallets should only be posted in a postbox. Please do not post them in a post office, because I think the post office put a label on it which is very hard to remove. So, it's goodbye from the members of our team.
Therine,
Nan,
Ray,
and Caroline.
And it's goodbye from John, our engineer.
bye.
Ray, our distributor. And from me, Jim. Goodbye.